Was good, boys? We are back with Champions League predictions for the week of October 3rd. I'm recording this a week before, so if anything happens on the weekend, I won't be able to account for it, but I want to get this video out to you guys immediately. Hopefully, this will release by Saturday or Sunday before the Champions League week starts. If you followed the last video, you could see I finished second out of 320 people, and I finished fourth out of 554 people. This was match day one's results here. We got 2 correct scores right. Felt pretty good about that. And on match day two, we had 3 correct scores right, so we did pretty well in my opinion, so hopefully we can keep that going. All right, so here we go. These are the 8 matches that we'll be predicting on Tuesday for Champions League. First, we have Union Berlin and Braga. Both coming off pretty rough losses, I'd say, right? Berlin loses, I would say, kind of a heartbreaker against Madrid. Braga loses the heartbreaker against Napoli. We're going to have to see how they come back from that. I think this is more of a game that we'll look at the odds to see what we want to take here. So we have Berlin as -120 favorites. The total is 2.5. I think with the total being 2.5, we can expect a very tight game, I'd say. As much as I want to say, you know, maybe a 2-1 Berlin win or maybe a 1-1, I think it'll just be a simple 1-0 Berlin win here. I think they'll bounce back at home. I think they play very well at home. No disrespect to Braga, I easily think they could equalize, but I think for prediction's sake here, I'm going to go 1-0 Union Berlin. Then we have Salzburg for Sociedad. If anybody saw this, Salzburg just played Austria Salzburg in a big heated rivalry match. I don't know if this really took a toll on them or not, but they did win 4-0 pretty easily. So Salzburg at home here against Sociedad. We have the total again at 2.5. The books have this game as tight as can be. 2.8 for Salzburg money line, 2.55 for Sociedad money line. I'm not getting any easy reads, I would say, just from the pregame odds, right? We can look at Salzburg's last few games here to kind of see like what we're working with here. A 2-0 win against Benfica is actually pretty nice, but there was a red card in that game, and there was some penalty nonsense going on with Salzburg, but very good result. We have Sociedad, who conceded 3 to Getafe. I don't know if we want to take that seriously or do we just want to dismiss it, but I mean, you can see 3 against Getafe. You're going to have my eyes open here. I think for this match, I'm going to go just 2-1 Red Bull Salzburg, 2-1 win over Sociedad here. I just think Salzburg at home, get it done, and just they need to build off of an amazing win against Benfica. Napoli versus Real Madrid. Wow. I mean, this is a very, very fun matchup here. The books see this matchup sitting at 2.75 for the total, and the odds for the money line are as dead on as can be. Real Madrid has been struggling to score against basically everyone, I want to say, right? If you go through their games, there's not any insanely massive results where you're like, yup, that's the Madrid that we're used to. It's a lot of 1-0s, a lot of 2-1s, a lot of even a 3-1 loss to Atletico. Something we got to like think about, right? And then you have Bologna and Napoli 0-0 last time they played. Napoli came through to just deliver a crazy win against Braga last match day. I am just thinking maybe a 1-0 Madrid. It's a very tight game the entire way. Both teams will be pretty scared to concede, where it could become one of those things where we get a Madrid goal just pretty late. Copenhagen versus Bayern Munich. I don't want to disrespect Copenhagen, right? Like, I've done it enough times now where I've just not had them winning. I haven't had them doing anything, but I do think at home against Bayern Munich, as much as I want to say, yeah, Copenhagen can make some noise, do we really think that? They're 11 odd, plus 1,000 to win against Bayern Munich. The total sitting at 3.25. It's really hard for me to think that Copenhagen are going to score, but this is the one time I will probably check, like, what's the odds for Copenhagen to score here? And it's actually pretty decent. It's actually pretty decent for Copenhagen to score against Munich. I think just from those odds alone, I think I will go with the 3-1 Bayern Munich win here, with the acknowledgement that I kind of was, indifferent about Copenhagen scoring, but I do think at home they've been scrappy. I'm not comparing Bayern Munich with Galatasaray, but if you're going to score 2 goals in Galatasaray, I'll put some respect on your name. All right, now we have Lens and Arsenal. Lens is like one of those weird teams that I think we got to probably check the form of Lens to see how they're doing, because they were one of those unexpected Champions League teams from Ligue 1 to be in this competition. So I'm a little indifferent / I guess unimpressed, with the start of their season so far. Like a lot of losses here. They did draw Sevilla, which was, we did predict that. We did predict the 1-1 in Sevilla. And I mean, Arsenal's Arsenal. There's not really much we got to really talk about them. I want to say 2-0 Arsenal, but they are away from home. I feel like being away from home may have them struggling. 1-0, 2-0 result, I feel like is likely. I think I will go 2-0 result to Arsenal here. PSV and Sevilla here. Now, this has all the makings to be one of those crazy shocker matches where we get a lot of goals, or it's one of those predictable matches where we just see the 0-0 until the 75th minute. So let's see what the books are thinking. thinking about Sevilla, PSV. So that's 2.5. PSV, very, very, very slight favorites on a 2.5 line here. I actually think maybe PSV get I think it's a nice, simple result. This is like, I feel like it's a sharp game, 2-1 to PSV. Man United and Galatasaray, and this match is being played where? In the Old Trafford. In Old Trafford, they are about 1.47 on the money line here. Galatasaray going away from home. I'm not sure if they have the juice to keep up with United for 90 minutes here. Let's see how Gal has been away from home in European competitions. So they did beat Molde 3-2 away, and I feel like that's enough of a result for me to be like, I feel like there's gonna be goals in this game, right? I am thinking goals here, so I'm thinking maybe a 2-1 United result here, maybe 3-1, but I'm just gonna go 2-1. Inter and Benfica. Oh my gosh. This match brings back flashbacks of when I thought Benfica could advance past Inter Milan last year in the knockouts. And well, it didn't happen. Inter beat them 2-0 and then they drew 3-3. So 5-3 aggregate last year is how they went through. 2-0 does feel like a pretty nice result here. Let me see what the books are thinking on the total at least. 2.5. Okay. I think with the 2.5 total, I am feeling 2-0 to Inter. Benfica really could score one, but I'm still thinking about last year a little bit too much. They really kind of let me down. So I think I'll go 2-0 to Inter here. So that concludes the Tuesday matches. And now let's get to the Wednesday matches. Let's get to the Wednesday matches. Okay, match day 4. We have Antwerp for Shakhtar Donetsk. We have a 2.75 total. We have a 1.85 odds to Antwerp. It's not going to be I would say, a well-received prediction here, but I'm thinking 2-2. I just have this weird vibe that we get goals in the first half. We get some late goals in the second half. Either Shakhtar's winning late, Antwerp's winning late, then we get an equalizer. That's the vision I see on Antwerp and Shakhtar. Atletico versus Feyenoord. Not the easiest idea just on paper there. Dude, this one could be just a shit show of a game. I'm talking like 10 cards, a lot of fouls, a lot of free kicks, a lot of BS here. And I think we see one of those results, right? Just a simple 1-0 Atletico Madrid result. Porto and Barcelona. Oh, man. Are the books putting any respect on Porto's name for this match against Barcelona? Let's see. Oh, yes, they are. I would say a little bit at least. Barcelona has a 1.9 odd away from home, or the 2.75 total. As much as I want to back Barcelona here, I don't think it'll be easy to just go into Porto and win. So I think it'll be a 1-1 match here between Porto and Barcelona. I think that is the most likely vision I see of that game going in. Newcastle versus PSG, two teams that we really don't ever really think about playing each other, right? So I am thinking actually a very interesting result here. As much as this could be a low-scoring game, with the 3-goal total here, I am actually feeling a 3-1 to Newcastle. I think they put past that Milan game, and PSG actually fold in this match against them, and I do feel like a 3-1 Newcastle result could be loading here in Newcastle. We have Celtic versus Lazio here. I still have no respect for Celtic, in my opinion. Now, if Celtic want to show up and prove me wrong, like, they can do it, right? They didn't prove me wrong at all against Feyenoord last time, so it's really hard for me to be like, yeah, you know, Celtic will get this done. Maybe at home they get a goal, but I still think Lazio is just, I just don't think Celtic is there yet. Let me just double check though. Let me just, now before I go off, you know, with the BS though, let me just make sure I'm not mistaken on how I see it, because I know Lazio is not even great either, right? I just don't think Celtic are like that right now. Even though at home they don't lose, right? Even though at home they don't lose. I should be careful though. You know what? That last thing I just checked here, that last thing, where was it? This thing I just checked here with them at home, I think for this reason alone, I probably will just go 1-1. Okay, Dortmund versus Milan here. Man, I got to make sure I don't let my Dortmund bias get ahead of me, but we have 2.3 odd for Dortmund money line, 2.9 odd for Milan money line. I really don't see this game being low scoring, right? If it's low scoring, not only will I get this prediction wrong, I'll probably end up losing a lot of money on the bets as well. But I think for this match here, I think I want to go 2-1 to Milan. Red Star, Zervena Zvezda versus Young Boys here. Now, this is where it gets a little difficult, right? We have 2.75 total. We have a Serbian team facing a Switzerland team. 2.15 for Red Star moneyline. I really don't see a scenario that Red Star loses the match. I think they draw or win. I think I'm just going to go 1-0 Red Star. Let's see. They scored over one goal. Okay, you know what? I think just for that reason, because I'm a little nervous about how often they scored goals there, I'll go 2-0 to Red Star. I don't think Young Boy scores in Serbia. Leipzig and Man City. We get a little rematch rematch of the of last year's Champions League matches here, right? I'm pretty sure Leipzig, because they were in the same group last year. So we had a 1-1 result and a 7-0 result here. This game can go a bunch of different directions, right? I do think this game could be low scoring like we saw in the 1-1 game. This game could also be crazy because Man City could just decide that they want to go crazy on Leipzig here. I think for the sake of the bets here, I'm going to go 3-1 to Man City. I think it goes over 2.5. I think Man City still get the result here. No disrespect to Leipzig, but I do think Man City I'd rather keep backing Man City than try to find a match that they don't win, because I think long term we'll probably be better off backing Man City like this. So 3-1, and that concludes both match days of the Champions League. I'd appreciate if you guys all would let me know what you guys disagree with or agree with in the comments. Go to the link in my bio. That's where you can predict on this website. It's called Pooky. You can add me as a rival. It's just my YouTube, Twitch, whatever, iForensic, that's the name. Add me as a rival there, and we can compete on leaderboards together. And if you finish high up on these leaderboards, you can win cash prizes. So yeah, make sure you guys do that. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. I'll catch you on the next one, boys.